Alright, so here's my example for the reference resolution homework assignment. I was able to finally get the config files to work. So to run my code, all you have to do is do /ant. I have dialog and location spy added in there just to make sure I've built all of my targets before I run the registry. So that's just the first step, and once the registry is running, then you can just run my config file, which is called dialog.superconfig. So let's wait for the registry to turn on. Once the registry is up, you can run the config file, and you can see all the components will start to connect to each other over here. It takes a little bit of time just to process it. Okay, so you can see everything kind of starts to bubble in there. Okay, so I'm going to run my script now. Import into database. Double click. Okay, so the first one is going to tell it that there is a red ball on the table, and you can see that it started moving over to the right. So because it was able to determine that there was a red ball on the table and the table was over on the east wall, it started to navigate over there. So that one worked. You can see in the first part where the beliefs were added. Oh no, okay, sorry, that's the second phase. So for the first one, the beliefs are added here. The features of object 1 is that it's red and is a ball. So it resolves that object 1 is the ball that's located on the east wall, and then it submits a goal to navigate over there. So in the second part, I add another object to the scene, which is another red ball on the same table. So this conflicts with the previous information when we're going through and trying to find the bindings, because we could be either referring to object 1, the first red ball, or object 3, the second red ball. So I chose to have it not take an action if it is unable to resolve the reference, so it outputs an error message and it doesn't add the utterance to the goal manager, so nothing happens in that case. And then I just had one other test that I wanted to show. Unfortunately, for some reason this didn't work with the XML file, so I'm just going to run it separately. Just going to wait for that to load again. Okay, so an alternate way of testing is to just use this test component, and since my XML file wasn't working for some reason, I'm just going to go ahead and use this approach for the final test. So I establish a turret in the scene. Now it has a belief that there is an object in the scene that is white and is called the turret, and it also believes that it is dangerous. So then we handle the turret reference. It figures out that the dangerous white thing we're referring to is the turret, and then it is able to start spinning because it believes a turret has been deployed, and this was in previous assignments. As long as it believes a turret has been deployed, when the command to start spinning comes through, it will start spinning. So you can see it correctly resolved that reference as well, and that concludes my demo.